Welcome to historic Cornwall Street in Bellingham, as I modeled it based on old photographs from our photo archives. I used Blender to do all this work, and the photographs are available on my website, as you see. This project was inspired by the fact it was a beautiful old movie theater here on Cornwall Street back in the 50s. It's where the vacant Penney's building is now. Here you see the current Cornwall Street, today being August of 2022. Here's a big gaping hole above the Bank of America building on Cornwall, next to the Leopold Hotel. At that big gaping hole, there was a beautiful old building called the Chuckanut Sandstone Lighthouse Building. The first floor was stores, the second floor was offices. However, the third floor, which you notice the windows are taller, that was a small theater that took up the third floor of that building. The building is constructed entirely of Chuckanut sandstone and included some very fine detail, perhaps one of the most complex buildings ever in Bellingham, with the possible exception of the old City Hall. The tower was a beacon that could be seen from many, many blocks around town. Unfortunately, these buildings were very expensive to maintain. Now, here's the current entrance to Bank of America at Holly Street and Cornwall Street. In the old days, this ugly entrance was this beautiful entrance to the Lighthouse Theater. You go through those doors and you go up a long spiral staircase to the theater itself. Although beautiful, it was, I hate to say, a bit of a fire trap, since that spiral staircase was the only exit for the theater. I'm going to try to recreate the theater that you will go to when you go up those stairs. It's this beautiful building. This eyesore, which is the long vacant Penney Store building that's never been developed due to disputes within the family that owned it, is the site of a beautiful theater called the American Theater. Built in about 1900, this started as the Beck Theater. It was a true opera house seating 2,300 people. It was also a vaudeville theater, but then it changed into a movie theater called the American Theater. In changing this to a movie theater, we removed the top balcony to make way for the projection booth. They've installed a new refreshment stand and made the lobby a lot more welcoming. I would like to point out that although I had some old photographs of the outside of the theater, there were no color photographs, so all the color scheme for the marquee is my own. Here's the current boarded up entrance of the JC Penney building, and here's the same location, the entrance of the theater. The arrangement of the marquee and the doors and the stonework were from photographs, so I feel that those are authentic. Adjacent to the theater was the old Beck Hotel. As far as I know, this was a simple residence hotel. Nothing fancy. You had to go up the long flight of stairs to your room. Sorry, no elevators. The rooms are very simple. Here you are in my room at the Beck Hotel, looking down across the street to the original location of the JC Penney Store, which, by the way, has real windows on the second floor, unlike the building they moved into when they tore the theater down. Adjacent to JC Penney's was the Quackenbush Building, which still stands today. However, unlike the many storefronts on the first floor, the entire first floor was a Western thrift store. The entire second floor was Horn's department store. At this time, I would like you to please come with me inside the Western thrift store, inside the Quackenbush Building. You can see a beautiful piano for sale, but you can also see the Lighthouse Building across the street. Well, that's it. And of course, I love you all.